Before I show you how to fill out the joint Sanlam money market fund application form, let's look at the 5 ways you can use the joint Sanlam money market fund account. Number 1, you can use it as an education fund for your kids. This is because you'll get better returns and flexibility as compared to education insurance policies. And if you want more information about that, I'll leave a link in the description box. Number 2, you can use it as a family emergency fund. So you can set up one with your partner and keep each other accountable. And then you can use it as an investment option for chamas or groups that aren't registered. This means you'll earn higher returns as compared to saving your money in a bank account. If you are a registered chama, then you need to fill the corporate application form, not the joint application form. And I will do a guide on how to fill out the corporate application form. Number 4, you can use the joint Sanlam money market fund account to save money for non-monthly expenses such as car insurance, travel expenses, car maintenance, medical insurance, and all those. And then finally, you can use it to accumulate savings for bigger investments as a couple or as a group. This can be a mortgage down payment, a treasury bond. A treasury bond's minimum investment is usually 50,000 or 100,000. So you can set up a joint account where you save towards buying a treasury bond for, let's say, 500,000 or 1,000,000 shillings. And if you need more information about treasury bonds, I'll leave that also in the description box. You can also use this account to accumulate savings for buying a piece of land as a couple. And then other things that you need to note about the joint application or joint account is that if you're more than 3 members, you need to nominate 3 people to fill out the application form. And then you can add the rest of the people under the beneficiaries list. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. And then you don't need a joint account. You don't need a joint bank account to open a joint MMF account. You can nominate a member's individual bank account. But of course, you have to come up with withdrawal rules so that you don't get yourself in a situation where one person withdraws the money and the rest of the people are not aware. And so that could lead to theft or fraud or something of the sort. And then you have to invest a minimum of 2,500 for your account to be set up. And then finally, to withdraw funds from your joint account, you can use either the Sanlam Unit Trust app, which is available for both Android and iOS devices, or email customer service at clientservice@sanlamisafrica.com with your withdrawal request. And now let's talk about how to actually fill the joint application form. On the first page, you'll need to tick money market fund because that's what you're talking about today. And then next, you have to fill the date. The date which you're filling this form. So let's say you filled it on the 21st of August 2023. And then after that, then we go to the joint investor details. So this is where, the two of you, if you're a couple, or the two of you, if you're friends, or, if you're a chama, this is where you nominate the 3 people who need to fill out this form. So this, I mean that if you're a chama and you're like 10 people, right, you need to only nominate 3 people to fill this form. And so for each of those people, joint applicant 1, 2, and 3, you have to fill all your details, surname all the way to nationality, country of residence. So this is important because if one of these people is out of the country, it's okay, just write their country of residence, fill everything. Each of you has to have a KRA pin, and then you have to write your employment status. So if you feel that you are employed, you have to fill your employer's name, occupation, and industry. Even if you write that you're self-employed, you have to indicate, what's your nature of business, what's your occupation in that business, and what's the industry. So that has to happen for all the 3 people. For all the 3 people. If you're a couple, just the 2 of you. And then there's this bit about authorized signatories to sign mandate. So for example, when you've created this account, right, and you would like to withdraw the funds, you have to decide, is it that all of you, the 3 of you, have to sign when withdrawing money? Either of you has to sign when withdrawing money, or any to sign. So you have to decide. If you're a couple, you have to decide. If you're a chama, you have to decide. Then we go to the residential address inquiry. This is where you fill your residential address. So you have to fill your house number and estate. If you don't have a house number, which happens to a lot of people in Kenya, that's okay. But you have to fill the estate, your road, city or town. And then you can also, if you don't want to write your residential details, you can also provide a utility bill. So a utility bill can be a telephone bill, a KPLC bill. Yeah, that will act, that can also be used as proof of your residential address. But I've always found it easier to just indicate your residential address as opposed to providing a utility bill. But the choice is yours. Then after that, you have to indicate your source of funds. So this can be from your salary, from your rent or property sale, from the sale of shares, dividends, loan, whichever one it is. Tick what applies to you as a couple, to you as friends, or to you as a chama. And then of course, if your source of funds is not indicated in any of these choices, come here and indicate. For example, if it's pocket money, if it's gifts, whatever, you have to indicate on this bit. And then after that, we go to customer bank details. So you do not need, as I said in the beginning, you don't need a joint bank account in order for you to open a joint money market fund account. You can nominate one of your members' bank account, or if you're a couple, you can nominate one person's bank account to act as the bank account for opening this joint account. So you have to indicate that person's bank name, account number, bank branch, or account number. If you have a joint account, indicate the details. And then all of you, as the applicants, all of you have to authorize, that is, have to put in your signature here. So authorized signature is in accordance to mandate provided. So all of you have to sign. So I see a few people struggle with this signature thing. So as you can see here, you can actually you can easily just upload a photo of your signatures, right? So for example, I can go here and just in my downloads upload a photo of my signature. You can do the same for each of you. Also, if you're using Adobe, the free version of Adobe, just like I'm doing while filling this, while recording this video, you can sign. As you can see, I have two versions of my signature on Adobe, the signature and the initials. So either works. But the three of you have to sign this form. And then we go to the investment details. As it's written here, minimum investment is 2,500 for each of the Sanlam unit trust funds. For today, we are talking about the money market fund. So you have to indicate here 2,500, and then you have to indicate the total 2,500. And then here it's written that unit holders shall be granted one free withdrawal a month to the designated bank account. Yes, so any additional withdrawal will be subject to a frequency charge of 500 shillings, sorry. And then how are you going to do your initial withdrawal? How are you going to send the money for your initial withdrawal? So that is why here it's written payment method. So are you going to do a check deposit? Are you going to do direct cash? Are you going to do M-Pesa? Whichever one that works for you. Tick what works for you. And then here you've been asked reinvest. So I advise that you tick yes. Because reinvest means that you will employ the power of compounding interest in your investment. And the power of compounding interest is, for example, if your initial investment is 100,000 as a group or as a couple, it means that in the first month you will earn interest from your investment, and then in month 2 they will calculate your interest based on your initial capital of 100,000, and then the interest you earned on month 1, and so forth and so forth. So that's how you employ the power, or you automatically employ the power of compounding interest when you're investing. Of course, if you're a retired person, or if your group is like ready to already start using the returns from your investment, you can click no. So if no, all income distribution will be credited to your bank account. And then the Sanlam has provided their deposit account details. So these are Sanlam's bank account details. This is if you want to do a bank transfer to them in your initial deposit or subsequent deposit. So as shown on the screen, those are their bank details. For your initial deposit, you can also use M-Pesa. So this is their M-Pesa pay bill number 88811, and then for the account number you input your ID number. Yes, input your ID number. Then after that, there is this bit called self certification tax status. So are you registered for tax Kenya? Yes, it has to be yes, because you have to have you have to have a PIN number, a KRA PIN number, in order for you to open either an individual or joint money market fund account. And this is not just unique to Sanlam Money Market Fund. This is for all money market funds in Kenya, and all money market funds in Kenya will charge a 15% withholding tax from your earnings. That's why it's a must. You have to have a KRA PIN. And then, are you registered for tax in any other country? If yes, if you put yes, then you have to say that country of residence and the tax identification number. After that, we go to the beneficiaries. This is the point where I said in the beginning that if you're more than 10 people, or if you're more than 3 people, in your chama, you can decide that on page 1 you're going to have 3 people. You will nominate 3 people to open this account, but then for the rest of the people, you can always add them here in your beneficiaries list. Yes, so that's what I meant. You add the rest of the people in your beneficiaries list. If you're a couple, for example, then your beneficiary can be your child. Yeah, if you don't have a child, can be your niece, anyone, right? It's up to you to decide who is your beneficiary. And so you have to write the beneficiaries details here. So name, date of birth, identification number, all these things are needed. But then the most important bit to note here is this percentage share. So this percentage share always has to add up to 100%, right? So if you write one beneficiary and you give them 40%, and the other one you give them 40%, and stop there, Sanlam will want to know where do we take the other 20%. Of course, beneficiaries is important in the case that you pass on, as a couple you pass on, or as a group you pass on. They would want to know who gets this money. So this percentage share always has to add up to 40%, always has to add up to 100%. So if it's 40-40, then you always have to indicate who gets the other 20%. Of course, you can always have just one person. You can have just one beneficiary. Maybe you're a couple and you have one child. You can have 100%. That child can be 100% a beneficiary. And then here, if your beneficiary is a minor, if your beneficiary is below the age of 18 years, you have to add a guardian. So you have to add a guardian. So who is going to have that money on behalf of your child, right? So you have to write the guardian's full details: name, ID, passport number, mobile number, and the relationship to minor. Is it the grandmother? Is it the uncle? Is it the sister? Is it the father? You have to indicate that. And then after that, we go to the risk assessment. These are very self-explanatory questions, and you're supposed to fill all of them. Very simple questions at that, right? So examples is, have you ever invested in any of the investments below? So if you have shares, if you have treasury bills, if you have other unit trusts, just tick, right? Tick what applies to you. Of course, it can also be none of the above. If this is your first investment, tick what applies to you. They are very easy questions. So tick the 7 of them, and then it's a very important. This is a very important exercise, the risk assessment, because what Sanlam actually wants to know is, what is your risk profile? Yes, because as you can see here, they have 3 types of funds: the money market fund, which is a low risk investment, which is what we're talking about today, because it's an above inflation level of current income. The objective is an above inflation level of current income. It's a very low risk investment, and it's ideal for preserving capital and liquidity while earning a competitive return relative to comparative products. Yes, that's why we do that exercise. And then there's the bit about declarations and signature. This is literally the terms and conditions of this page. You have to read. All of you in your chama have to read, so that or even the 2 of you as a couple, groups, you have to read this bit, because you don't want to get yourself in a situation where later on somebody says, I didn't know, or we didn't know this is what we were signing up for. So make sure all your group members understand that this is what you're signing up for. And if there's any bit of this declarations page that you do not understand, just leave a comment in the comment section and I'll help you understand what it's about. Then it's written, we, the undersigned, confirm that we have read the terms and understood the declarations, this declaration and its implications. So all of you, the 3 people who are nominated people to open this account, have to write their names, you have to sign, and you have to write the date. And then after that, we come to the KYC documents needed to open a joint account. So KYC stands for Know Your Customer. So all of you who are opening this account, that is the three of you, if you're a TAMA, the three nominated people have to provide all these documents. And then if it's a couple, for example, all of the two of you have to provide these documents. So you have to provide your your copy of national ID or passport. You have to provide passport size photos. This doesn't have to be an official photo. Even clear selfies work. And then you have to provide copies of your PIN certificate. And then if you're exempted from tax, then you can provide a copy of tax exemption. And then there's the proof of banking details. You have to provide a copy of an ATM card. That is the banking details you provided just for that one account. You have to provide a copy of your ATM card. Just you can take a photo of the front side of that ATM card. Never take a photo of the back side of your ATM card, because that provides has very sensitive information. So a copy of an ATM card can work, a copy of a one-page bank statement can work, or an original cancelled check. Then you have to provide proof of investment. As I said earlier, you have to invest a minimum of 2,500 in order for this account to be set up. So you can do this proof. You can invest through M-Pesa or bank details that I provided earlier. And then you have to provide, that M-Pesa message or that bank message showing that you actually did the transfer. And then to set up this account, Sanlam actually requires that you either involve a lawyer or involve a financial advisor, one of their financial advisors, a certified financial advisor, who is going to check that you fill this form correctly and also check that you've provided the correct documents. So for example, I am a certified financial advisor in Sanlam, and that is why by the time I send you this application form, I'll have indicated my name, my financial code. So this is a code that is officially provided by Sanlam East Africa. Yes, so I'll have provided for you my official code and put in a date and signed. So this means that I'm making it easier for you to set up this account as opposed to the hassle of finding a lawyer. And then the last bit is for internal use. This is where Sanlam fills in. So if you'd like me to send you as a couple, as friends, or as a chama or a group, if you'd like me to send you this application form, just email me at agatha@thewealthtribe.com. I'll also type this email in the description box and also type it in a pinned comment. Write me an email and tell me, help us set a joint investment account. Thank you.